Welcome to Basic and Bookish Podcast, where today we are finally discussing our thoughts and reactions from Throne of Glass Book 1 of the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas, including our favorite key characters and moments. I'm Kinsey.
And I'm Karly. I'm experiencing the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas for the first time. Well, if you don't count me DNFing.
Pausing.
At Era Fire.
And I am here as our resident Throne of Glass fan to guide the way. Honestly, I can't wait to get your initial reactions to certain scenes once we get farther along into the series, but I'm still so excited to discuss all of this with you. And you can check out our timestamps for each section in the show notes.
This is part of our Massive Maasverse Mayhem Crash Course season, say that 6 times fast, where we will cover favorite ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, and Crescent City moments, world building and lore breakdowns, ACOTAR 6 theories, and more before the sequel's release on October 27th, 2026.
And once ACOTAR 6 is here, we'll be right by your side to recover from the inevitable cliff hangover before ACOTAR 7's release on January 12th, 2027. And yes, we will be updating our theories between releases. Also, I should note, we have a bunch of ACOTAR recaps, so if you need a refresh before ACOTAR 6, go listen to those.
Yep, they're all up there. Mm-hmm. This is your official spoiler warning for Throne of Glass, just book 1, not the series. If you haven't finished reading Throne of Glass yet, we recommend pausing the show and returning after you've finished.
Due to the nature of this book, this podcast is rated R in content and language.
If you'd like to skip the ads and have access to full video formats, it's available now on Patreon. That link can be found in our show notes.
Now, prepare to break out of Endovier because we are entering the Maasverse.
Gonna need to get that grappling hook.
I know, right? I want to start off with a game of fuck, marry, kill, but instead it's kiss, marry, fight because our characters are 1, traumatized enough and we don't need to kill them, and 2, it's technically YA. So, at least at this point in the series, what would you choose for our trio, Selena, Dorian, and Kale?
Yeah, and also, as an almost 40-year-old woman, I'm just going to age these characters up.
Yeah.
I know 19, I don't want to kiss or marry any 19-year-olds. But assuming they were closer to my age or older than me.
Well, maybe instead of kiss, marry, fight, we'll do like kiss, befriend, fight.
Yeah, that works a little better.
Yeah.
That probably works a little better. I'm going to start with who I'm going to fight, and that's Dorian.
Oh!
Dorian was driving me crazy.
No, say it ain't so.
A little bit. Listen, okay, clearly he grew up with a lot of privilege, and it shows.
Yeah.
It shows. Okay, befriend and kiss on the cheek.
The cheek.
I will befriend Kale. I'll kiss Selena on the cheek.
Mm-hmm. Okay. When I wrote this out, I didn't even think about what my answer would be, and now I'm like,
yeah, it's tough.
I don't know what I would do. I love Selena, and I don't know if I would rather kiss her or befriend her. Oh, God. It's so hard because I also feel like I'd want to befriend Dorian because he's given her some book recommendations, and we love a good book rec. Like, that's a great friend to have, as someone who recommends great books. But he's also just a little bit clueless about Selena's situation, and Kale is a bit more understanding, and he's the one actually going through training with her. Mm-hmm. Can I just befriend all of them? No. Okay. I would definitely befriend Selena. That's a given. And I think I might also kiss Kale, and then I would fight Dorian, but it would be just like a stop it, just like a playful little shove.
Yeah.
Now, Karly, you technically read Throne of Glass before, but paused the series at Heir of Fire. Mm-hmm. How does this book compare to the first time you read it?
Well, okay, I've read half the book once and then DNF'd and then read the whole book finally. So better. Much better than the first time I read it. I think knowing that the book is YA made a huge difference in my reading experience and expectations of the book. because I did not know it was YA when I first read it, because the description I heard made me think that this was like new adult or just regular fantasy category, not young adult. And there's a lot of things that I feel like young adult you can get away with.
Yeah.
That you just don't necessarily get away with in older books where you expect more maturity from the characters. So this was a much better reading experience the third time around.
Yeah.
At no point was I really wanting to DNF the book.
That's great.
Which
that makes me happy.
Yeah.
I think it also helps that we had just reread ACOTAR, and we're not going to talk about that now, but you and I both know how we felt during our rereads, and you even yourself had enjoyed that more, looking at certain things, and you know what's to come. Like, I think you have a much better understanding, and it does start off YA, but it definitely ventures off from that.
Yeah, I think it matures.
Like halfway through the series. But like we are going to get a little bit of closed door, not in this book, spoiler warning. But no, I'm so glad. And for me, I feel like when I reread this, so this is actually my 4th time rereading Throne of Glass. Never DNF'd it. I was hooked right away. I've always really enjoyed it. Some people, it takes a couple books for them to get into, but for me, I was like, wait, I have this badass FMC who loves girly things, but she's an assassin and she's in this competition. I like competitions. This is cool. People are dying. There's not supposed to be magic. What's going on? So there's this aspect of the mystery and not knowing her background. And so like I was really into it right away. But all that to say, so this is my 4th time rereading. I've actually never once reread Kingdom of Ash because it hurt me too much. So this will be an experience for me. But I have reread all the other books 4 times. And for me, I love it each time more and more, just because for me, it feels like coming home and being able to see all of these characters again, because they all just go through so much growth, and it's just a lot. It's a great journey. And so it's just really fun to kind of start over, and I really enjoy it. I'm so giddy. Like I literally started Throne of Glass on the weekend, and I'm already almost done with the Assassin's Blade. Like 5 days later.
Oh my goodness. Well, I've got some catching up to do.
It's okay. Now, we don't need magic in Aurelia to talk about the magical moments and quotes of Throne of Glass. So I would like to know what your overall favorite scene was in this book.
Oh, my favorite scene in this book. There were some good ones.
Yeah.
Picking one favorite one is tough.
If it helps, when I asked my husband this, he said, I really like the description of the glass castle. And I'm like, that's not a scene.
Yeah, that's not really a scene.
Fantasy's not his thing.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So I guess for me, the thing that sticks out the most is probably 2 scenes. The one at the very end is probably my top favorite. And that's where she is fighting Cain at the end. And she's seeing the other spirits and everything. And that scene just felt really intense. And I did really, really enjoy that scene. I thought it was really well done. I think sometimes fight scenes can get a little messy and you can kind of have a hard time understanding what's going on. I thought it was actually really, really well done, especially for like the chaos of the spirits and everything and what she was experiencing, and Kale and Dorian watching this happen and trying to figure out a way to stop it. It was really, really well done. I really enjoyed that.
Me too. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. I think the other scene, for some strange reason that sticks out to me, and it's like the only scene I really remembered from the first time I read this book, because it was a long time ago the first time I read this book, was the scene where she was trying to figure out the poisons. And I don't know why that scene always sticks out to me, but it's just like really embedded in my memory for some reason. So I feel like I need to mention it too, just because it's one of the only scenes I remembered.
Yes, that's a good one. I like how it was because everyone underestimated the other smaller assassin, that she was able to get away with it. So you mentioned the final battle with Cain. That's definitely up there for me. I also like when she first had discovered the tapestry in her room and was exploring the halls. And I had made a meme about this on Instagram where it's like Selena's like, what is that? What's going on? Like, she's like freaking out and she's like exploring because she's curious. But then the Redorak is going after her. And she's like, get me the fuck out of here. Like, I really like that. And then when Nehemia saved her. And I also want to say around, is it Yule Mist? I'm like, it's like Yule Mist or Winter Solstice, whatever they call it in this book, where she gets the puppy. That was just so cute. And how she ate all of the candy. And Dorian's like, oh my God, like it's breakfast and you ate half the bag already. And she's like, I didn't know I was supposed to save it for you. So I just found those enjoyable.
Yeah. Those were good. Especially the puppy.
Yeah. The puppy's so cute. We love Fleetfoot. If I didn't already own a golden retriever and it had a name, which my golden already does, I would have definitely named her Fleetfoot.
Yeah.
So my next dog better watch out.
Yeah.
Now, something I really love about this series is how many point of views we get in each book, and it keeps expanding as the series goes on. If you had to pick a favorite, which one would it be?
Oof. That's tough. Probably Selena.
Me too.
She's probably my favorite point of view. Yeah.
She's probably gonna stay that way for a good while.
Okay.
I love Selena's point of view.
Okay.
And at this point of the story, we do have a brewing love triangle going on. Both of the guys are into Selena. She's just trying to survive out here, as one does in a YA story. Are you currently Team Dorian or Team Kale? I mean, it sounds like you're not a huge fan of Dorian already, but
you know, I think I at this point I would be team neither. Like I don't think either of them actually know or appreciate her for who she is.
Okay.
I also think she has a lot of trauma and probably shouldn't be jumping into a relationship at this point. Yeah, and it would be a really tough pick because at the end, Kale is the one who like saved her from Cain, deciding that he was just going to stab her in the back when he lost. But at the same time, I think Dorian is just like open to accepting her for whoever she is at this point. Kale's more judgy.
Yeah.
So it would be really tough. I think I'm just team neither, though. Like
team neither.
Everybody needs to grow up a little bit.
Yeah. I think, well, not I think, because I did take regular updates. I was recording my reactions when I had read it for the first time and also updating on Goodreads. Around halfway through the book, I did make a comment that said, I won't fall for Kale simply because I don't know how to pronounce his name. Because at the beginning, I think I was literally calling him Chowl.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
But I was actually leaning more Team Dorian in book one. I was leaning more Team Dorian, but I was swooning over both of them. So I'm very easy to please. It's not obvious.
Yeah, so. I feel like I probably leaned slightly more towards Dorian this read than I did the first read, which surprised me. But I think it's just because I think accepting people for who they are is like really important.
It is, yeah.
I think I noticed that more on this read, that he was just more open to who Selena is, and Kale kind of seems judgy.
Yeah, just a tad. Because, I mean, I get where Kale's coming from. He's the captain of the guard. He has to protect his homie. She's the most notorious assassin that Alderlin has. But also, she's just a girl.
Yeah, she's just a girl.
She's just a girl.
You know, I know you mentioned that you really loved the competitions. Did you want more or less competition tasks, trials, whatever you want to call them?
I feel like at first I did want more of the competition just because it was so interesting to me. That said, it takes place over weeks, and I think having around 20 trials would have been a bit too much. So it was nice that sometimes it was just oh yeah, we were on horseback and blah blah blah, like just a really quick little transition, but the trials we did get were so good. I liked how upset Selena was having to hide her identity, and she just couldn't resist showing off when she saved Knox, and she's like, well, like second place is first loser, and like she showed off with archery too. And but at the same time, even though she needed to win to survive and become the King's champion, I feel like in a way the main plot, or maybe just another subplot, there were like multiple plot lines going on, was the murder mystery and what she's having to do with Elena Galathynius. And so it would have taken too much to add every single challenge. Like we needed to get to know all of the other characters. She needed to figure out what was going on with the Ritterack and get closer to Nehemia, things like that. What about you? Did you want more competition? Did you want a little less?
I feel like it was the right amount.
Yeah.
It feels like it was the right amount because I actually felt like the other storyline was more compelling. So, personally.
Definitely. Yeah. Now, look at us. We're like so on topic. Besides the competition, something that really drew me into the story was the murder mystery with the Ritterack and Kane. Did you have a suspects list, or were you pretty confident it was Kane like the entire time?
I definitely felt like that it was people in charge doing this, which it seems like Kane was being, influenced by his sponsor. I think that's the right word.
Yeah,
the person who sponsored him. So I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
And while I didn't remember my first read very clearly at all, because it had been so long ago, it's also possible I was influenced by my first read and just somewhere in my subconscious was remembering that. But that seemed to make the most sense to me, that because I figured, I'm like, this is going to be someone in charge that has a vested interest in this. I don't think it was any of the actual competitors who seemed like they were kind of thrown into this. The people in charge of them had more to lose. Yeah.
I definitely suspected Kane at first, but I also have notes where I said, I don't really trust Knox. I don't trust the princess. Like, she's really suspicious. Duke Parrington's really suspicious. The fact that they had matching rings was really weird. But I most strongly felt like it was Kane. And when Selena had started noticing that he was literally absorbing their strength and getting more powerful and like bulking up, I was like, that ain't right.
That's suspicious.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Yeah. It was strange to me that she was so focused on it being Nehemia. Like, that actually didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. She just became so focused on Nehemia fairly early on. That seemed odd to me. I'm like, I think you should be less focused on Nehemia, because like Nehemia didn't actually make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah. That reminds me of a scene that I loved. It was like we got a little Cinderella story moment where she was so convinced it was Nehemia, she broke into the masquerade ball, and then everyone was wanting to dance with her.
Yeah.
So okay, anyway. Yeah, it didn't really make sense. I was like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, Nehemia was acting a little weird, pretending like she didn't speak the language and talking a lot about how much she doesn't like the king. And I'm like, baby girl, you are in his palace. You need to calm down.
Yeah, I definitely thought like Nehemia was up to something, but I didn't think that she was
murdering all these
people and like eating their insides. Like, that just didn't seem like that was where she was going with this.
Yeah,
personally.
definitely not. Yeah.
But I do love the description of like a murder mystery, because the whole time I was reading it, I was like, this feels like one of those dinner murder mystery parties where you have to fill out who the killer is at the end of the dinner. Like, the book just had that vibe to it the whole time I was reading it.
Me too. And that's why I couldn't put it down, because I was like, I need answers.
Yeah.
So we've already discussed the ending at length, I feel like. I have the vibes of like how you reacted to it for the first time. There's just one little detail that I do want to talk about from that ending scene, aside from Caltaine poisoning her and Elena showing up to take away the poison, was that as Nehemia was doing all the word marks and trying to help out, and Selena's having all of these visions, there was this mark that appeared on her forehead. What do you think about that?
I mean, it seems like it's going to be real important later.
Really?
I feel like it's definitely going to be important.
Okay. All right.
I feel like it's got to mean something, right? Because
it probably does, or maybe it means nothing. I don't know.
I mean, you do know, but I just seems like, so word marks are types of runes, I believe. Like runes are like a very ancient type of language that were associated with Vikings and Norse mythology, and they're in different cultures all over the world. And so I know that a lot of times they are used in fantasy as like spell work, essentially, because like you'll have this like symbol that means something, and it's not necessarily one word. It often has like a bigger meaning to it. And it seemed like she almost like something within her was reacting to the magic that was happening around her. That's what it seemed like.
All right.
That's what it felt like when I was reading it. We shall see.
We shall see. We shall see. We'll try to keep this next part brief. At myself, we're going to discuss our favorite quotes, and I usually have zero self-control. I've narrowed it down to 4 quotes, so we're going to start with Karly.
Okay. All right. I have one quote. It's from Selena, and it said, quote, "Back before this became my profession, when I was almost too young to remember, I wanted to be a healer." And it broke my heart when I read that.
My Shayla.
I know.
She's just been through so much. She's so traumatized. She's been traumatized since a very young age, forced to become... Like, imagine growing up wanting to be a healer and instead being forced to kill people as you're living just to survive.
Yeah. It really was sad. Like, I read that and I was like, I don't know how you got from there to here, girl, but big sad.
Big sad, big sad. Oh, my Shayla.
Yeah.
I have this quote from Elena Galathynius. She said, "You could rattle the stars. You could do anything if you only dared. And deep down, you know it too. That's what scares you most." And then this was something I believe Selena had said. I think it was in her point of view. It was more of a thought. "Libraries were full of ideas, perhaps the most dangerous and powerful of all weapons." Hashtag, that's right. Another quote from Selena. She said, quote, "My name is Selena Sardathian, but it makes no difference if my name's Selena or Lillian or bitch, because I'd still beat you no matter what you call me." And I was like, period. Period. And then finally, this is also Selena. "We all bear scars. Mine just happen to be more visible than most." My Shayla. Anyway.
Oh, boy.
Before we move on to our characters, are there any other scenes that you would like to discuss?
There's this moment, when she's seeing this opportunity, when she realizes there's an underground tunnel system, and she realizes that she could run if she needs to. And I thought that was really important for the story overall, because she doesn't. She chooses to stay. And I think it just really showed like what was really important to her, which was like true freedom. And she knew she'd never truly be free.
Yeah.
I thought that moment, her knowing that there was a path out and that she could try to leave if she wanted to, and no one would notice for like hours, like she would have this huge head start, was really, really important to the story and the choices she made, because the fact that she didn't was a big deal.
That's such a good point. Yeah, that was really, really good, because I think if I were in her shoes as well, I wouldn't be able to handle living constantly looking over my shoulder until I died.
Yeah.
And at this point, she's being charged with this other mission, and she's having to figure out this evil going on. And so, curiosity killed the cat. How is there magic? What's going on? She's got to figure that out. And she's starting to form an attachment to these people who really should be her enemies, but she's starting to care for them. So yeah, that was pretty great.
Yeah.
I'm glad she stayed.
Yeah, it would have been a very different book if she didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I really would have.
All right, let's talk about the characters we'd crown as King's Champion or send the champion after. Kinsey, who are you crowning in this book?
If it's not obvious enough, Selena Sardathian. What about you?
You know, I want to say Nehemia.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Nehemia's pretty cool. She's mysterious.
She is mysterious, but I think that she has her own agenda, but was also doing what she could. Mm-hmm. And I think her agenda is important. Like, it seems like she really wants to help her people.
Yeah, she definitely does.
I think that she was a very interesting character.
And she's very smart and strategic with her moves, too. Everything's calculated.
Yeah.
Now, which character is on your hit list?
Oh, Lord. I don't know.
Like,
There's
like
so
the
many.
King.
Yeah, honestly.
Duke
I was gonna
Parrington.
say the King. Basically,
Kaltane.
Everybody, honestly, I feel sorry for Kaltane. I wouldn't put her on my hit list. Like, she's doing bad things, but God, what are they doing to her? Like,
yeah. When I had read Throne of Glass for the first time, I made a Goodreads update where I said, okay, but when does Kaltane get interesting? I'm just waiting for her to be possessed by this evil spirits or something, unless her headaches are genuinely due to how annoying she is.
Yeah. No, actually, I feel like bad for her, though. I'm like, what is happening to you, girl?
She was manipulated, but she was also really power hungry to even have found herself in that situation.
I mean, yes, but I feel like there's something about Kaltane. Like, she's if you've watched Bridgerton, she's a very Cressida-like character. Like, she doesn't have good options. She feels very stuck in this world where she has to, like, marry, and that's the only way for her to have any sort of life. And she's been taught, like, oh, you need to marry up. You need to marry somebody powerful. She's very much like a product of her environment, and what these men are doing to her is awful. So yeah, so I'm just gonna say like the king and the duke, because fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them with a capital Fuck.
Yeah,
yeah, I'd say they're on my hit list, and I'm also gonna add Elena to that list. I'm not gonna lie, I have some serious beef with Elena.
Okay.
And I'll just leave it at that. I feel like I have more that I can say in the next book. But I feel like she'd only show up when it was convenient for her and not give Selena clear answers. And I'm like, if you're tasking her this big thing, you need to at least give her a little bit more of a heads up of what she's looking for. And then Selena will ask her a question. She's like, you'll figure it out. That's a little bit less so in this book. It does still happen.
Okay.
But she just annoys me.
Okay. To me, it seemed like she could only show up at certain times because it seemed like getting through this portal of like the other side to her, it seemed difficult.
No excuses.
No excuses. Okay.
I'm like, if you have limited time to talk about something important.
Okay.
That's just me.
All right. Well, we obviously have to talk about Selena specifically. I know you love her. Go off.
Go off? I want to know what you think about Selena. So, I mean, I just really like how even though she at this point has gone through something horrible and we don't know her full backstory, but we do know that she was just enslaved, which is horrific, and to have witnessed such horrible things happening there, and at one point lost the will to live and tried to escape and made it farther than anyone ever has. So I just like really respected her for going through that, and then going from being so malnourished and weak from her condition to training and getting stronger mentally and physically. And then how she's like, well, I want to go to the ball. I love chocolate cake. And she's just sassy. So I really enjoy her. And I think she's really cool. In my review for Throne of Glass, when I had read it for the first time, I was like, I wish that I had an FMC like this when I was a teenager. I had Katniss Everdeen, and Katniss is really awesome. But there are parts of Katniss where she's not like other girls, and she doesn't like the dresses and the things like that, whereas Selena does. And so I'm like, yeah, I fuck with it, because women can be powerful, but we can also be girly.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about Selena.
Yeah. I do like those parts about her. I like that she has this sense of whimsy about her and these things that she really enjoys. And I do love that about her too. I will say the assassin side of her makes no sense to me at this point in the book.
I knew you were going to say this.
There is not the emotional maturity somebody would need to be a successful assassin. And so it does, I know people talk a lot about how this book was written when Sarah J Maas was 16. And that makes a lot of sense to me reading this, because it feels like a character written who views themselves as this, very powerful badass. It's like the kind of delusion you have when you're 16 that we all have when we're 16, to be clear. And yet there is no emotional maturity to actually be that type of person. And so that for me is like a thing in my brain that there's like this conflict where I'm like, this character doesn't make sense. And that can kind of make me feel a little crazy when I'm reading a book. And so I don't like that part, because she's, very nervous about Knox dying, and she's like wanting to save him and all these things. And I'm like,
she's empathetic. That's not her target.
Yeah, but is the country's most successful, greatest assassin going to be a very empathetic person? Those two things just don't go together. If you want to write somebody as the country's most successful assassin, write that book. If you want to write about a book about a girl who was forced to be an assassin but is very empathetic, then she's not going to be the country's greatest assassin. They just don't go together.
Yeah.
And so I
would argue
have a hard time with that.
It does, though, because she's forced in this position. She had rules set with her previous master, as they call him. And like, I won't kill anybody from Terrason. I won't kill children. So she's just trying to survive, but she does a really good job. She's good at killing. And she does a good job, because if she doesn't excel, then her own life would be in jeopardy, and she wouldn't have been able to pay back Arabin or gain her freedom as an assassin, because, to be very clear, she wasn't just a slave in Endovier. She was essentially a slave before then, because she's in all this debt to her master / trainer. And I can understand wanting to preserve a sense of your humanity, especially when Selena originally just wanted to be a healer.
Yeah.
So to me, it makes sense, but I do understand the maturity level here at this point. And we don't see her acting as an assassin as much in this book as we do later on when we see her in action, actually going out on her tasks, and she can be very vicious. So in this book, I do agree with, and there was even one quote where I kind of giggled to myself, and I don't have it exactly memorized, but it was something along the lines of how she'd make a grand entrance, because of course she would, because she's an assassin. And I was like, aren't assassins supposed to be stealthy?
Yeah.
But that's just like her cockiness.
Yeah. I think, to me, these things just don't go together. If I was going to build out a character and like write it out and build out a character, and I wanted to build out the country's greatest known assassin ever, empathy is not going to be high on the list of character traits this person's going to have. It's just not. And so those two things just don't go together for me. It doesn't work personally for me. And the other thing that I personally really don't like in a character, and there was a very popular book from last year that had this. I'm not going to name the book.
I know which book it is.
I'm not going to name the book, but it's the whole, I'm so great at everything and I have to pretend not to be. And that's just so hard for me. And I hate that. I hate that. I want to throw that trait out the window.
At least this character has a reason. She has a past, but if you read Throne and Glass first, then
I understand that she has a past, and it's fine that she's great, but like, it's so hard for me to have to pretend not to be. Like,
I know.
I get over it. Like, who cares? Like, be mediocre for a little bit. No one cares. No one cares. And
it's because she's cocky. It's that attitude.
yeah, but I just don't like it. I don't enjoy that part at all. That part's really, really hard for me. But I will say I like the other parts of her personality a lot. That's just the part that I'm like, oh my God, you're 16. Just
I
please
know.
Stop.
In
Please
her
stop.
defense, though, she's always...
Or 19. She's 19.
19, yeah. In her defense, and this is something we get in the Assassin's Blade, so it's not technically a spoiler because this is like her... I don't know, but it's
I mean, like, if people haven't read the book, it's a spoiler.
It's just like a very minor, but so if you want to skip for like 5 seconds, you can. But she's always had to hide who she is. No one ever, and they actually do talk about this in this book, actually. She's like, so people just know that Selena Sardathian was placed in Endovier, but no one knows that I was Otterlin's assassin. People know Otterlin's assassin, and people have heard of Selena Sardathian, but they don't know who she is. So she's always had to hide that. She's always had to cover her face and disguise her voice and do all of these other things. And I think it's killing her that she has to put on another identity as Lillian Gordana and not show people. Because, I mean, it's like those videos with those chess masters or whatever they call them, and how they play against people in the park and they're being sneaky and they're like, oh, I have to pretend like I've never played before, but really they're like the best people in their field. I feel like that would be like her. I'd be like, God, like these people are talking down on me and they have no idea that I'm actually a professional. Yeah. So I get it to that extent, but I do agree that this book
it's
doesn't
just not
show
the hardest thing going on in her life. Like,
no, definitely
girl,
not.
you got bigger problems. Maybe don't put any energy into this. Like, who cares?
Yeah, there was a lot more telling in this book than showing of her skills, and we do get to see her skills later.
Yeah. I think it's just going to be hard for you to marry those two things together and buy it, I guess, is where I'm at.
Yeah. But overall, knowing the parts that you dislike and that you do like with Selena, do you find her enjoyable as a character? Do you enjoy her as an FMC?
I find her interesting and compelling. Like, I want to know more about her. So, yes.
Nice. Now, for our MMCs, you already have answered the love triangle and how Dorian is maybe a little spoiled. How do you feel about both Dorian and Kale? Like, at this point, do you like Kale? And Dorian.
I like Kale. Kale is another character that doesn't make sense to me because at the end of the book,
nepotism.
Kale had to kill that Kane. And he's like freaking out because it's the first person he's ever killed. I'm like, sir, you are captain of the guard. What do you mean? That would be like if Selena was like, I'm the greatest assassin. I've just never killed anybody. It's like, I'm sorry, what? That doesn't make any sense to me. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, it's total it's not technically nepotism, but he got the job because he's best friends with the prince. And he did go through training, and even Nehemia is like, you're just a soldier. He's like, I'm not a soldier, I'm a guard. And she's like, well, same difference.
Yeah.
But I did think that was funny. I was a little surprised to find that out too. Like, okay, you've never killed anyone. I guess he's just usually there standing and looking pretty in a throne room or monitoring the palace.
But you would think he would have had to at least like put people to death when they like broken into the castle or something like that. Like they have executioners
for that.
Yeah, but you would think like in the moment, like they're gonna have people who are trying to break into the castle, and he's gonna have to be helping as a guard. Like I'm like, you make it all the way to captain as a guard, and you've never had. I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense to me.
I think with the way that the king has his flair for drama, it's probably a capture then kill type of a scenario. I think they want to make examples out of everyone. So most likely they would always capture people first.
I guess, but I just don't think that that's like something that's canon in the book. And to me, I'm like, he's captain of the guard. How do you you get there and not kill people? I don't know. It doesn't work for me. But I do think Kale
His personality, though.
Yeah. Personality-wise, he's very reserved character. So I don't feel like we got to know him very well, but he did seem very interested in Selena surviving and not going back to Endovir. And he seemed more almost invested in making sure that didn't happen than Dorian did. Dorian was like very fascinated with her, but it didn't seem to me like he was doing things to make sure she wouldn't go back there. And Kale actually seemed very concerned about that. So I did find him a very interesting character. I don't feel like I know him at all, though. Like, he's so reserved. Whereas
he's very reserved.
Dorian is much more, like, open. Especially with Selena. He's, like, much more open with her. And he's, like, very sweet to her. And so it's like I have this, like, one character who I feel like is, like, being more emotionally fulfilling to Selena. And then I have this other character who's like, girl, we got to keep you alive, which is also big, important. So I find them very interesting and like the way that they both are meeting different needs of hers in a way. And I found that very interesting. And I could see why the love triangle is such a decisive topic.
Do you have any opinions on Duke Parrington besides him being a little bitch?
He's awful.
Yeah, he's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I mentioned personally having a little bit of beef with Elena Galathynius or Elena Galathynius Haviliard. I guess I should hyphenate her full name. How are you feeling about our friendly royal ghost?
Our friendly royal ghost. I find her very interesting that she's appeared now because it seems to me like things have been pretty bad
for a while.
And I'm just like, girl, what have you been doing over there? I feel like we know so little about her, but I find her compelling. I'd like to know more. I wonder if we're going to get more of her backstory because I find her interesting.
Yeah, I wonder.
Okay.
At this point, do you like or dislike her?
I like her.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. So, in general, you pretty much like everybody. Like, you would say you like Selena like Dorian or dislike Dorian?
I'm on the fence about Dorian.
Okay, on the fence, but you do like Kale, you like Kaltane, and you like Elena.
I wouldn't say
and you
I
like Nehemia.
I wouldn't say I like Kaltane. I'd say I understand Kaltane. I have pity for Kaltane.
I pity her as well.
I don't necessarily agree with the decisions she's made, but I also am like, how much control does she even have over these decisions? What have they been doing to her? Like, I don't know. She just feels like a puppet at this point.
Yeah. I mean, do you have opinions on what they're doing to her?
It just seemed, I don't know, but it seems messed up. Like, I don't know. I understand Kaltane. I don't necessarily like Kaltane. I feel bad for her.
Yeah, that makes sense. Are there any other characters you would like to discuss? I feel like we got most of them.
I love Fleetfoot, and
we love Fleetfoot. This will be the only spoiler that I will give everybody. Fleetfoot does survive.
Okay, that's good to know because I don't like it when dogs die in books, and like I'm like the person that's like the dog can maul everybody and the dog is fine. Like I don't care.
I don't think I would survive if Fleetfoot didn't survive. So like that's a spoiler I don't feel bad giving. The dog survives.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. Speaking of spoilers, though, I'm just curious, and we can timestamp this if it is anything for those who are listening. Were there any spoilers that you have seen that you know are coming as we continue to read the series? Not things that you already know because you've read Crown of Midnight and The Assassin's Blade and majority of Airfire, but is there anything you haven't read yet where you're like, I'm trying to gaslight myself, but I'm pretty sure I saw this spoiler. Like, is there anything that you think you know so far?
This isn't even a real spoiler because I really don't know what it is, but I know that there's a character named Lorcan that everybody's obsessed with.
Well, you've actually technically should have already met him in Air of Fire.
I don't remember him. I remember very, very little of that read through. I'm going to be real honest with you.
That's totally
if
fine.
I had to
That's
pick out 4 scenes in the next 4 books, that's probably all I've got for you.
All right. Good.
So
Good. Just checking. Just checking that no one's ruined your experience yet.
Nope. So but I do remember people talking about Lorcan, and people seem real obsessed with that character. So that's all I've got as far as spoilers go at this point.
No comment on that, but okay, that's good. That's great to hear, because I want you to have a pure experience where nobody has spoiled anything for you. I'm just so excited for us. I'm excited for you to catch up and just see everything. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Honestly, it feels like I'm reading this series for the first time because it's been so long and I have no memory of almost anything. Like, I remember so little.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, to close, with everything we've discussed today, what's your overall rating of this book?
Keeping in mind that it's strictly a YA book. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like YA, I rate genres of books very differently. Like, this, to me, would not have held up in the new adult category the same way.
Yeah.
But as a YA book, I'd say it's like a solid 4-star book for me.
I also rated it 4 stars.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel better.
Yeah. Okay. No, I rated this 4 stars. I was like, this was really solid. It kept me in. There were some parts that could have been better, which are some of the things that we both brought up about how maybe she was a little bit cocky, but we still love her for it and other things. But yeah, I actually also rated it 4 stars.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to mention this one thing before we close out today. And I, as I was reading this book, I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this. And not about this book specifically, but about this genre at the time.
I'm sad.
I completely forgot that this was a thing. And like looking back on it, at the time I didn't notice it because I had so many books were doing this. And now I look back on it, I'm like, why were they doing this? And it's that they edited these books with so many exclamation points. I don't, like, if you audiobook this, you will never notice, but I completely forgot that this was like a relic of its time. And when you read the book, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm back in like, what is it, like 2012 or 2014 or something, like that time frame of reading YA books, because there's so many exclamation points.
You know, I've been a YA reader for a very long time, and I don't know if I've ever noticed that.
It's like a thing. It was a thing of its time. Like, as I was reading it, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm back in that time reading books.
Well, now I'm going to notice.
It's so funny when you notice it and you're like, oh, because that would not be in the editing style nowadays. Like, that has changed. And so it's so funny when you notice things like that. Like, my brain was like, oh my gosh. And it was like, I feel like there was one paragraph that had 3 or 4 exclamation points, and there was like 5 sentences.
They're really excited.
Yeah.
They're just really excited.
It's so funny. And it's not a critique of the book. It's just an editing style of the time.
That's so funny.
But it's so funny when you notice those things when you're like, oh my gosh, that's right. I forgot that like everybody was doing this at the time.
Yeah. And Kingdom of Ash will be like, everyone's dead. And I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, just kidding.
We'll see.
Yeah. No, that definitely is not how things happen. Okay. Well, I'm glad. It honestly is such a relief to hear that you enjoyed this book more this time, even if you're just lying to me to help my feelings.
I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying to you.
That's good. Because from here, it just keeps getting better.
I do remember, like, the one thing I remember was the feeling when I was reading last time was that the books did get progressively better as you read, which, again, it makes sense. I feel like most authors' books writing, they get better as they write more. Like, that's true of anybody's craft. So I'm excited for Crown of Midnight. Is that the next one?
Crown of Midnight.
Crown of Midnight. Okay. All right. This is where we leave you today, Basic Book Besties. Thank you so much for listening. Please leave us a review and join us for our next Throne of Glass reaction episode, where we are discussing our thoughts and feelings on Book 2, Crown of Midnight.
I'm so excited. Okay. If you need more Bookish content, we have 4 ongoing seasons. You're currently listening to our Crash Course season for the Massverse, but we also have Fourth Wing Deep Dive topics, fun author interviews, and our Book Bestie chats featuring spice ratings, our thoughts on recent adaptations, discussions on our current reads, and more. Our Massverse Season 2 content releases weekly on Thursdays, while our other seasons release episodes sporadically on Tuesdays.
You can check out our website, basic@bookishpod.com, for info about our contact form, upcoming seasons, which authors we have scheduled next, events we're attending, and more. We've linked that down in the show notes.
You can join us over on Patreon, where you can access all of our episodes ad-free, 3 days early, and in full video, plus extras like exclusive quarterly book club access, shout-outs on the show, and PDF resources. You'll find our Patreon link in the show notes, along with all the ways you can support the podcast.
Don't forget to stay in the loop by following us on social media at Basic and Bookish Pod and joining us on our Discord chat. Who knows, you might just meet your next book bestie there.
We'll be back next week. Until then, prepare to crash out over ACOTAR 6 and Throne of Glass as we continue to crash course our way through the Massverse.